Well, the storm is past, but there's snow outside and it's still really cold. Hi, I'm Lori F. Dean, and yes, we did weather the storm. Our pipes are not frozen anymore, but we haven't gone too far the last day and a half or so. It's been pretty nasty, and you can't really venture out too far without getting too cold. So I'm starting to feel a little cooped up or boxed in. And it got me thinking about some of the other times in my life that I felt boxed in. Not necessarily stuck indoors because of the weather, but that feeling of being boxed in other parts of your life. You know what I mean? Well, let me tell you a little bit of a story and see if I can make it a bit clear. Come with me. First of all, sincere apologies to all of the artists that are out there. I am clearly not one of you, but hopefully these little drawings will help to convey the story I'm trying to tell. That used to be me, very small and feeling very trapped within a box. And I thought it was the pressures of the outside world that were keeping me trapped. The pressures to make money and pay bills, the pressures to show up in relationships with others and myself, and the pressures to look after my physical needs, my body, by eating right and exercising. And as these outside pressures started pushing in, I, on the inside of this box, started pushing back, and pretty soon the pressure was building, and I began to scream, and then one day, boom! The lid blew right off the top of the box, and I found my head and shoulders sticking into darkness, sticking into emptiness, it seemed like, sticking into a scary black void. I didn't like it here, but I also didn't like it where I had been, and I didn't know what to do. What could I do? I didn't want to go back. My old world didn't fit anymore. I didn't want to go forward because I didn't know where I was going. So I looked to the side of me, and what I ended up seeing was another box. And it was a smaller box, but it looked more appealing. It looked better. So I jumped back down into my box, and I dug a hole in the side of it, and I squeezed into this smaller box, where I stayed for a very short period of time because it became pretty obvious pretty quickly that this was not for me, that this box was actually worse than where I had come from. So I quietly and humbly went into my own box and poked my head back up into the darkness again. Now, I didn't do this alone. I needed lots of help. I needed prayer. I needed meditation. I needed support from family, friends, coaches, and I read anything I could get my hands on, anything to help me work my way through this particular darkness. A few things started to happen to me. First of all, patches of light started to appear in this darkness. And secondly, I realized that maybe, just maybe, this isn't so bad. Maybe this isn't gloom and doom. Maybe this is actually a gift. And my gift that was given to me when I came to this realm, the gift I needed to show me a way to something better, a way to who I truly am. So I began to explore more, and more patches of light appeared. And pretty soon, beyond one of those light patches, I actually saw a path. So I said, I'm going to take that path. And as I did, the darkness gave way, and I stepped out onto the path. And I had various steps that I was going to take along this path. And where was it going? Well, I really had no idea at the time. But I kept at it because it felt right. It felt good. And I was learning that I was so much more than what was around me, than what was in the physical realm. And as I made my way along that path, I eventually came to another box. A bigger box, a more colorful box, a lighter box filled with light and love and harmony, but a box nonetheless. And it was at that point I started to realize that, maybe we never really escape boxes. Maybe as long as we are on this physical plane, there will always be boxes. Boxes that confine us to a certain degree. The boxes can get bigger, the boxes can get more expansive and more colorful, but we could always be within those boxes. And sure enough, there came a time when the box that I was in started to feel cramped again. But this time I knew it wasn't outside pressures making it feel small. Something in me was saying it's time to move. It's time to step out of this box too. So I sat down and said, okay, what do I want to do? Well, of course, one option would be to go back to to where I came from, but that didn't appeal to me. So I decided that I would blow the lid off this box and not leave it to other circumstances to make it happen. And so I did. And yes, there was darkness, but very soon the light appeared because I knew it would. I wasn't afraid anymore, and I could make my way through that darkness and make my way along another path and make my way to an even bigger box. And that's what I did about 2.5 years ago when I quit my job and sold my house and got rid of my stuff and set out on this crazy path to explore the world physically. But what I was really doing was exploring my inner world and coming to understand who I really am, the creator that I really am, the created that I really am, and how I came to this world with everything I need built right into my DNA. So as I say, I believe there will be boxes for all of us throughout our lives. And I believe those boxes will not necessarily go in a straight path, a vertical path. And they'll be zigzaggy, and we may jump up a few boxes, and we may fall back a box or even half a box. But as long as we are growing and building bigger and better boxes, I think we're going to have a pretty great journey here on this plane. Is it just me? Or are you ready to start building bigger and better boxes? I can't wait to read your comments on this one, so please put them below, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button above. I'm Lori F. Dean, and thanks so much for continuing to join the conversation, and I will see you back here tomorrow.